The Boys is a very clever and sophisticated show, and when you hear some of the details and potential developments in season 2 that we're going to discuss in this video, you'll see that the show doesn't have any plans to slow down. Yes, we're getting a season 2 of The Boys, and thankfully we're getting it soon, as season 2 is filming as we speak. And showrunner Eric Kripke has been surprisingly uncryptic about what he has planned next. So first we'll go over his comments for season 2 before discussing my own wish list. And be sure to share your own wish list for season 2 down below in the comments. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button. All right, so first off, confirmed details. Kripke says this is happening. So number 1, Terror is coming. Apparently a fan favorite from the comic. Not a lot of The Boys fans, to be honest, but still, they want Terror. And Billy Butcher's Pitbull, Kripke has said, will show up as the co-star in one of the episodes in season 2. Kripke says working with animals is difficult, and he doesn't want to do it for an entire season. But you're going to apparently get a whole lot of Terror in one episode. Now, apparently, in the comic, Terror likes to hump anything and everything, and I'm censoring that description, by the way, which to me seems a bit juvenile and a great way to get non-comic book fans who love dogs upset with your show. Like, The Boys needs all the attention it can get because, as we discussed in my spoiler review, apparently nobody has Amazon Prime, but this isn't the way we need people to hear about the show. So we'll see what they decide to do with Terror and how far they go with him. Next up, Dawn of the Seven, another fictional film. I enjoyed the small previews that we saw throughout season 1. But Dawn of the Seven will be a full fictional film that will be part of season 2. Oh, go all the way, guys. Film one and release it. I would watch it. Kripke hasn't said anything about that. But he has said that he's hoping that series producer Seth Rogen, who already cameoed in season 1, will play a role in that movie as its Agent Coulson. Now, I thought Rogen's playful season 1 cameo with that VCU reference, get it? VCU, MCU, was great. And since he's so not an Agent Coulson, I'm very interested to see what character they do come up with for him, and also to see if he plays himself as an actor behind the scenes and how he interacts with the Seven. Does he find out they're not cool? Does he, maybe eventually he becomes not okay with it? That could be really cool stuff as well. Then also, Kripke promises more Giancarlo Esposito. Hooray! This was going to be on my wish list, but already wish granted. With his number 2 having hit the fan, sure enough, the head of Vought International will play a much larger role in season 2. Remember, Homelander was very referential to him throughout season 1. We'll see if Homelander keeps that attitude and how Giancarlo Esposito got it that way. He has, of course, been a formidable opponent on other shows, mostly in the Breaking Bad universe, and I imagine he will be here too. And if he could emerge as a Lex Luthor type, that would be really cool. Then Stormfront is coming. Now, Stormfront is from the comic, but they're making some changes, which Kripke has already revealed. First off, Stormfront is now a woman, played by Aya Cash, who has already been cast. But Kripke says that Aya Cash's Stormfront is a cross between Thor and Shazam. Now, the Thor comparison is obvious since Stormfront has lightning powers and a Viking background in the comics. But Shazam? Will a child actress be cast as Stormfront's alter ego? Now, and this is going to get interesting, but first off, I want to tell you in the comics, Stormfront is part of the group Payback, another superhero group run by Vought, not at the caliber of the Seven, but up there, and they're brought in by the company to take down the Boys, although I imagine the Seven will want to take care of that themselves. That could be the setup here, but maybe Stormfront is simply the newest member of the Seven. I mean, after his PR nightmare, what better PR move than to replace the Deep with a female superhero, potentially an innocent child one, no less. But then here's where things get really, really interesting, right? So if Stormfront is part kid, right? Maybe, and by the way, on a side note, I also put this in my notes. Be careful with child characters, Kripke. You seem to have a little bit of a taste issue, and I'm nervous. But anyway, Young Stormfront is perhaps a friend of Homelander's son, maybe already as a way for Vought to keep an eye on him, or maybe they give Compound V to a friend of Homelander's kid to get her in cahoots with the company. Oh, I like that. I mean, then you would have Stormfront operating on two different levels. You know, you might think, what would the child character do? But since we already have a child as the star of season 2, Homelander's son, well, then again, as I said, things get really interesting. All right, so now on to my wish list for season 2. My two dads. That's my headline for the first one. And that's fascinatingly, Homelander's child has two dads. His biological father, Homelander, but also his stepfather, Billy Butcher. In fact, Eric Kripke has pointed out that to Billy Butcher, this kid is half his arch nemesis, but also half the woman he loves. Although, as I said in my spoiler review, I don't really know if I were Billy Butcher, if I could forgive my spouse for making me think they were dead for 8 years. I'd be like, you should have found a way. Anyway, who will be the greater influence on this child? And will he stand alongside his father or become the only one who can take him down? Oh, I like that. Can we find a way to age him up, maybe? All right, so anyway, next up, supervillains. So far, we've only met the female, and she's not a villain, right? And seen the terrorist in the CIA footage. But just as the 7 aren't clear-cut heroes, these shouldn't be clear-cut villains. What's more, they are operating independently outside of Vought International. Will some of them even be seen as heroes to their own people and maybe legit be heroes, right? Homelander wanted to create villains, cardboard villains in his eyes that he could fight. But what if he created competition? Also, let's see what happens when the 7 fight people who could actually fight back. You know, like when Starlight fights A-Train in season 1. Although hopefully the fights will be a little bit better than that. And then finally on my wish list is the Legend, one major character from the comic who hasn't shown up yet. A twisted version of Mr. Stan Lee, who helped Vought create comics for their heroes and helped write up their backstories and character arcs. You know, kind of like the alpha version of the PR people that we saw in season 1. Now, in the comics, the Legend is Billy Butcher's source for a lot of superhero inside information. He knows all the secrets because he helped cover them up. And he also, by the way, had an affair with Queen Maeve, having produced a child, and that's some leverage that Billy Butcher holds over him in the comics. Now, again, you're going to have to be really careful here, Kripke, and be respectful of Stan Lee's legacy, certainly more so than the comic was. But I think this could be a very interesting path to go down if it can be done correctly. So, how does The Boys Season 2 sound to you so far? And again, what do you hope to see? Not only as a fan of the comic, or maybe as not a fan of the comic. Share your thoughts down below. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.